Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me for another of my monologues. As you can see, I'm sitting here by the fire. It's not actually that cold. It was colder earlier this morning, and I thought it'd be nice just to get the fire going to warm the room. And now, you may or may not know, depending on if you've been watching other channels or listening to my other podcasts and things, I have a strange situation. I don't know whether it's a frozen shoulder or whether I've just pulled muscles in my shoulders. They're certainly tight and stressed. And this all stemmed from a fall that I've spoken about, which was now about 3 weeks ago, it seems to me, in which I pulled a muscle down here in my thigh, but more in the pelvis. Anyway, so I'm struggling a little bit and unable to get to the land at the moment to get on with Biggleswick Farm, which is very frustrating, as you can imagine. However, the weather hasn't been kind anyway, so it's not like I'm missing out, although today is not a bad day and a day to crack on with various bits and pieces. So yeah, and at night time, this pain across here on the back is, I can't tell you, is excruciating, enabling me, or disabling me, I should say, from moving about. Now, I did a video yesterday of my pipe smoking channel talking about this, and I was wondering, really, you know, whenever you're in pain and you're debilitated from your normal everything, we take our bodies for granted, don't we? We just take them for granted until something happens, and then suddenly we're very much aware of them. And in some cases, you can feel a bit trapped in your body if it's not working properly. But it made me, and of course, when you're starting to feel sorry for yourself, or you're aware that you can't do what you normally could do, and it limits you, and you want to charge about and get on with things like I do at the moment, you are aware of that other people may well be suffering exactly the same thing. And what do they do? Now, where is the help? For some people, and I've spoken about this on my channel for several years now, about escaping the system, about wanting to set up a whole new system. In my book, Biggleswick, the town that wouldn't comply, I talk about this. And in fact, this is what the people in the town do eventually get together. They build a new system, including a health system. Now, ordinarily, you know, in the past, you have some sort of problem like this. You go to your doctors and you say, hey, doc, what's going on? And he'll come up with either prescription for some petrochemical medications, or he'll send you to a specialist at the hospital. I've come to learn, and as many people have who took a certain medical intervention, or forced to have it, or encouraged, or hypnotized, or brainwashed to have this thing, that actually the NHS does not seem to be your friend a lot of the time. They seem to be very profit driven. And in some cases, you might say they are public enemy number one. I have no wish to go to a hospital and be dealt with them. Plus the fact, of course, as a real man, as a soul in a body, and not a dead entity that is on the birth certificate, the legal fiction, the ens legis, whatever you want to call it, that's who they actually accept, isn't it? Because they go through your supposed date of birth, your legal fiction name, and all of that. Are they treating you, or are they treating a dead entity? Anyway, if you're one of those enlightened people who realize what's been going on, and you think to yourself, I just don't want to go into that environment, because I don't think the petrochemicals, the pharmaceutical industry is there to actually make you better. They make far more money if they can keep you ill, or spend an absolute fortune on giving you unnecessary operations, or complicate an operation so that they can do things. Now, I had my eye removed on the NHS, and I didn't know then what I know now, that what in the end must have cost the taxpayer thousands of pounds that ended up after a 4-year contracted period of me having an artificial lens, is that actually the problem could have been cured right at the beginning with a almost free solution of iodine. But no, that wasn't suggested. I went down this protracted thing. I ended up with several cornea transplants which didn't work, and then eventually I had my eye removed and this prosthesis put in, which must have cost, as I say, thousands of pounds. And you start to get a bit wary about that so-called health system. But what do you do if you decide you're leaving the system, the matrix, and you're not the dead entity? You are a sovereign individual, if you like. You are one of God's people. What do you do? And you can't access that. 2 years ago, possibly 3 years ago, I kept hearing about and interviewed people about health hubs that were going to be springing up all over the place, an alternative to the National Health Service. I've written about it in the book Biggleswick. But the question is, I'm a bit out of the loop now. Where are they? Where are these health hubs and these alternative health practitioners? Where do they go? If you are somebody who said, well, okay, I don't want to ring 999. I don't want to go to my GP. I don't want to go to accident and emergency. I want to go to the nearest health hub and have an alternative approach, a much more naturalistic or holistic approach. Where do you go? Where are these places? They're not on the tip of everyone's tongue, which is a shame. And this is a position, of course, I now realise that I'm in, that I would love to know who is my nearest practitioner and who can sort out or at least help me with the issue that I have, because I want to get back to the farm. Now, I was encouraged by an email by a gentleman called Rudolph, who got in touch with me earlier today, and he said, I saw your pipe smoking video, and he said, I want to give you some encouragement. He is a farmer in New Mexico, and he's been doing it for several years. He started at 68, and I think it was a year or so ago, he damaged his Achilles. So he was in excruciating pain, could barely walk, and was basically thought or told, that's the end of your farming career, mate, you won't be able to do anything. But he said, no, I am going to work through it, I'm determined, and I will get there. And I think grim determination is the key to most things. This, I know for me, is temporary, but it's just frustrating. It's just because I want to get out there on the farm. I've got things to build, we've got things to prepare for the spring. And even though at the moment I can barely move my arms and everything is taking an ice age to get through, I am persevering. And in many ways, I think in the English couple, when we do our next videos or so, I will have to share this and say, look, you will come across problems in life. And if you've moved from that system over there, which may or may not be the best system, and you're now independent, taking responsibility for yourselves, we need to build that better future. Rudolph seems to have got through his issue and he is farming still, which is brilliant. And I will be through this problem and farming still. I have a lot of positive energy and a positive vibrations. This isn't going to hold me back, but I know that there'll be loads of other people who will be going, I'm in pain, I'm suffering, where do I go for this alternative treatment? If you know, bung it in the comments. Tell us where people can go, because there's going to be thousands of people suffering who do not trust the NHS anymore, who do not trust the so-called professionals and their petrochemicals, and they want to be finding a different way that was promised by so many people. Where is it? How easy is it to get to? Is it relatively inexpensive? And all of that. I'm eating well, I'm exercising all the time. I'm going to get through it. I'm not worried about myself, but it would be great for others to know how they can help themselves. If you're interested in my book, Biggleswick, The Town That Wouldn't Comply, which covers some of this and talks about the aspiration of building a new future and what that might look like, then just send me an email, richard@vobes.com. I'll send you as quickly as I can an email about how you can buy the book wherever you are in the world, and then if you buy the book, I will get it to you as soon as I can. It might be a bit slow at the moment because I'm shuffling about like a 99-year-old, but I will inevitably get down to the post office and get them to you. I think we can still get them to you before Christmas, so that's a bonus, and I will do my best to do that. It's a great book. People have been telling me how much they've enjoyed it, and I really appreciate that. And if you have enjoyed it, do put it in the comments, reassure other people, and if you thought it had merit. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will endeavour to do more of these videos. Obviously it takes a hell of a lot longer to get set up, and I have to thank the lovely Julia, who has moved in pretty much now, along with her kids, just to assist me temporarily whilst I fight off this this inability to move. But I am doing all the strange little exercises that are associated with this condition. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you very soon.